Another major silly season domino has fallen as Noah Gragson will officially join Front Row Motorsports in 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty major breaking silly season news as Front Row Motorsports has officially announced their second driver for 2025. That will be Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson will join Front Row Motorsports in the 2025 season on a multi-year deal. Well, how long the deal was not officially confirmed, but I believe it's at least going to be a 2 to 3 year deal for Noah Gragson. They did not announce the number, the crew chief, or the sponsors that are going to be working with Noah Gragson in 2025. Noah Gragson has been linked to Front Row Motorsports over the course of the last few weeks, and it began to be rumored that Noah Gragson was going to go to Front Row. There was talk about him potentially going to Richard Childress Racing next year, but obviously if Haas factory team's sticking around next year, Noah Gragson decided to go to Front Row. This is a really big pickup for Front Row, in my honest opinion. Noah Gragson has been very solid with Stewart-Haas Racing in 2024. When we got into this year, I expected Noah Gragson to struggle quite a bit and finish at the bottom of the standings. Noah Gragson has impressed me so far this year. I think he's had 4 or 5 top 10s, which is only 1 or 2 less than what Chase Briscoe's done this year. He's 23rd in the standings, and if he added those 35 points that he lost in the penalty, he'd be almost inside the top 20 in the standings. And he's done a very, very good job. It has been very, very impressive this year. And he's going to be joining another Tier 1 Ford organization. Noah Gragson's been a part of multiple organizations over the course of the last couple of years, and this will be the 3rd team that Noah Gragson has been on in the last 3 years. Remember, back in 2023, Noah Gragson drove for Legacy Motor Club, where he absolutely struggled and had a terrible season. And now, like this year, he went over to SHR. And like I said, has done a pretty good job over at SHR. And then, of course, going into next year, he'll join Front Row Motorsports, where I expect him to do a really solid and great job. And he has a chance and possibility, even to this point, where he has to win a race, but he could still have a chance and possibility to make the playoffs in 2024. Now the big question surrounds who is going to be the crew chief for Noah Gragson. Could it be Travis Peterson? That could be certainly a possibility going into next year, but there's a lot of talk and conversation that Travis Peterson is going to be moving with Michael McDowell over to Spire Motorsports next year. Travis and Michael have been working together the last couple of years, and they've had some pretty solid success. They won last year at Indianapolis. I think that'd be a really big pickup for Spire Motorsports with them getting Ronnie Childress recently. That'd be a pretty big pickup. I think most likely Drew Blickensurfer is going to end up being the crew chief. Drew Blickensurfer has been working with Noah Gragson this season. They've had a really good and well-working relationship. And Drew Blickensurfer actually used to be the crew chief for Michael McDowell back in 2021 when Michael McDowell won the Daytona 500 that year. So I think that would make a lot of sense for a reunion for Drew Blickensurfer to work with Noah Gragson. Another big question is, what is the number going to be for Noah Gragson next year? I think it's going to end up being a 34. I think that Noah Gragson will be taking over for Michael McDowell next season, as of course, like I mentioned, Michael McDowell is going to be headed over to Spire Motorsports. I think that Noah takes the 34 car. I think Love's Travel Stop will be the majority sponsor for that car. But I also do think that Bass Pro Shops is going to be coming, and Black Rifle Coffee as well, are going to be coming along on the journey and joining Noah Gragson over at Front Row Motorsports in 2025. We'll talk about the other driver I think could be behind the wheel of that 3rd car in just a second. But I think this is a really awesome and great partnership. And I think that Noah Gragson is going to have a ton of success at Front Row Motorsports next year. What are my expectations for Noah Gragson going into 2025? Well, I think Noah Gragson is going to run very similar to how Michael McDowell's run this year. I think he's going to get some top 10s. I think he's going to have some outside chances of winning. And I think with Front Row Motorsports continuing to grow, we've seen Todd Gillen do really, really well this year with that 38 car. He's currently in the top 20 in the standings, which is really impressive. You've got both Front Row cars inside the top 21 in the standings. I expect him to do an exceptional job next year. And I think he's going to have an outside chance and a good opportunity to make the playoffs. But there's a lot of guys going to be in Cup next year moving different places. And I think there's a lot of great things going to be happening here. This is also now the 3rd of 4 current Cup Stewart-Haas racing drivers that are signed for 2025. Chase Briscoe, of course, going over to Joe Gibbs Racing to drive the 19 car. Josh Berry was announced last Wednesday that he'd be driving the 21 car for the Wood Brothers, and we officially got confirmation that Noah Gragson is going over there to Front Row. I expect Noah Gragson to have a lot of success and do a lot of great things with Stewart-Haas, not at Stewart-Haas, with Front Row Motorsports in the 2025 Cup Series season. And now the big question surrounds the third car. Bob Jenkins said that it's going to be a younger driver that's going to be coming in there to drive that third seat. Again, the number was not announced, but we do expect that Gragson is going to get the 34 car next year. The big question surrounds who's going to get that third seat. Could it be someone in the Ford camp like a Lane Riggs? Lane Riggs could be a possibility, drives for Front Row in the Truck Series, but I think we all can agree that Lane Riggs really hasn't done much in trucks this year and hasn't really set the world on fire. He's had some good runs, but he's also had a ton of bad luck so far this year. What about Hailie Deegan? Hailie Deegan brings sponsorship funding to the table. Maybe she could be a possibility, but I don't think Front Row is going to go after her because of her struggling performance. Maybe Matt DiBenedetto. Matt DiBenedetto's done a decent job this year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He could be a candidate for Front Row. I could see that being a possibility. Then you've got Riley Herbst and Cole Custer, but Riley Herbst is rumored to be going over to 2311 Racing, and we know that Cole Custer is a lead candidate to take over the Haas factory team going into next year, that 00 cars. I think that's the number the Haas is going to end up using. So now the big question surrounds who are the last two candidates, because I think there's only two other options that you could go with. That is Christian Eckes and Sam Mayer. Both drivers are currently at Chevy at the moment, are the two front runners for that final seat at the moment. And from what a lot of people are saying right now, it does sound like that Sam Mayer is the most likely candidate to take over the number 36 car going into 2025. Sam Mayer is desperately wanting to move up to the Cup Series next year. And I think Sam Mayer has done a very solid and a really great job with Junior Motorsports over the last year or so. He's technically got the most wins. Maybe John Hunter's got one more at this point. But Sam Mayer has won a lot of races over the last 30 to 31 races. And I think Sam Mayer is absolutely ready to make the jump up. He's done an excellent job with JRM. He's a pretty solid road course racer. We know the road course program is pretty good. I think if you move Sam Mayer up to Cup next year, he'll be joining a very elite rookie class because we know Shane Van Gisbergen is likely moving up to Cup next year. We know Riley Herbst is going to be moving up to Cup. Chandler Smith could still move up, and Corey Heim also can move up to the Cup Series in 2025. I think Sam Mayer could end up being the driver in the seat. Going back to Noah Gragson driving for Front Row, I think this is a very solid and a really great move for the team. And I am very happy to see that Noah Gragson is still going to remain in the Cup Series. Noah Gragson deserves a second chance and opportunity. SHR took that second chance, and I think he's thrived with it over the last couple of years. I expect Noah Gragson to do a really solid job next year, and I think for all the parties involved, this is a very excellent and a really solid move. So congratulations to Noah Gragson on picking up a new ride going into 2025. I expect him to do a very solid and good job, and I think he'll be pretty competitive with the team next year. It's unknown when it's going to be announced that that third driver will end up being, but I do expect that he will end up, we'll hear about that soon. We'll know about the third driver for Front Row in the coming weeks. We also are expecting other teams to make announcements soon. 2311 Racing is close to announcing multiple drivers at that team. Bubba Wallace is really close to signing his extension with 2311. Trackhouse should be announcing their team, their other drivers in the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's what Justin Mark said at Chicago. And we also should be hearing about a lot of other teams that can be making some moves, and some drivers can be making some pretty big announcements here in the not-so-distant future. Silly season's been crazy this year. There's been a lot of big movement, and there's expected to be a lot more movement coming over the course of the next 2 weeks. When all this stuff breaks, talk about it right here on the channel. We'll have more to discuss from this Noah Gragson story throughout the rest of the week as more information comes out. But like I said, congratulations to Noah Gragson on picking up a ride with Front Row. I do expect him to drive a 34 car next year in 2025. So, that is going to be today's NASCAR breaking news story. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How well do you think Noah Gragson is going to perform with Front Row Motorsports in 2025? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There will be an Xfinity Series Race 6 video dropping on the channel later today. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have the NASCAR Cup Series Race 6 for Pocono, and we're also going to have the paint scheme video dropping as well. Then on Friday, we're going to have the Truck Series Race review and a NASCAR news video early in the morning. Then on Saturday, we'll have the Xfinity Series reactions to the race, a Shane Van Gisbergen video, and of course, also the Cup Series qualifying reactions as well. I got a ton of great content dropping over the rest of the weekend that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.